Hey everybody, welcome back to Fusioneers. My name is Joseph, and today I'm going to be teaching how to make a cube using the center rectangle method. This will be a fairly straightforward tutorial, and if you haven't seen the series of videos on making a quarter, I would recommend starting with that because we're going to be going a little bit faster paced with these just because some of the concepts kind of repeat each other. So if you haven't already, go ahead and join our Skool community. You can get these PDFs that I've made for free so that you can practice measuring things. It's just a good thing to practice whether you're an adult learning this or if it's for a classroom, which is kind of why I'm making them free where teachers can use them if you want to. So if you go ahead and pause the video now and just measure the dimensions of the cube. If you have a micrometer, if you have a ruler, it should be fairly straightforward. It's not a complicated measurement. I think it's just a good thing to practice, and as you can see, the scale is 1:1. So now, assuming that you've already measured everything, there's another PDF available that shows the actual measurements. You can see here that this cube is 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch deep, and that's what this is saying here is the brackets is 1 inch, which is the imperial measurement, and then 25.4 is the metric conversion of 1 inch, obviously. So if you've been following along, this is our Fusioneers folder, so go ahead and click into that, and then we're going to go ahead and make a new folder for the cube. Click into it, and then we're going to start a new design. And then if you haven't already, turn on your origin. So now we're going to go ahead and save, and we're practicing our shortcut. So what is the shortcut for that? It's Command S, which is the same thing as coming up here and clicking save. You can see Command S, and then we're going to call it cube center rectangle. All right, you can see it pop up over here. So the first step is to create a sketch. So we're going to click create sketch, and then we're going to select the bottom plane here. And now we have to select what type of sketch we want. So I'm going to select rectangle, and we're not doing the default kind of 2-point rectangle, which is the shortcut R. We don't actually want to do that in this tutorial. We'll do another tutorial on that one in a second. We want to use the center rectangle. And if you remember back to the quarter tutorial, this is pretty similar to the center diameter circle. So you find the center initially. So you want to see the reticle kind of snap to the midpoint. You'll see that blue square on the origin point. So we're going to click that, and then we can draw our square or rectangle. And I'm just going to draw it just kind of arbitrary size. And now the next thing we want to do is to dimension this. So the shortcut for that, we should know that by now, is D. So if you just click the D key, and now you can select the side, and now we're going to dimension the width. And if you remember from the conversion, it's 25.4 millimeters is 1 inch. Now we can click enter, and you'll see that it snaps to 25.4. However, it's not a square yet. Even though it might look like it's a square, if we click escape to get out of the dimensioning feature, we have to dimension the height here. So as you can see, we can change the height of this drawing. So we need to make sure that Fusion knows that we want this length to be the same as this length. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just going to show you a couple of them real quick, just rapid fire. You can use whichever one you think is easiest for you. So probably the most intuitive one is to make them equal. So if we come up here and find this constraint called equal, click that. And now we want to click here and then click here. And you'll see that it snaps. And now whatever we change this to, say we make it 50 millimeters, that adjusts as well. So I'm going to go back again. So this is before we added the equal. So now I'll show you another way to do it. You can click D for dimension again. You can click here, and now for this dimension, we just want it to be the same as this one. So we click on that, and it'll automatically reference this dimension here. And then we click enter. And now you can see how it says fx colon 25.4, and that just means that it's referencing whatever is in this box here. So if we change it to 30, you see that this changes to 30. So that's really useful if it's something that you're going to be changing a lot. It's the same thing as equal, it's just doing it in a different way. Another way to do this would be to just type in 25.4, but the issue with this is, say we change this to 30, now it's no longer a square, right? Because this is wider than this is tall. So that's probably not the best way to do it, but it would work technically. But it's just not kind of textbook of how you should think about those things. Yeah, so those are the main ways I can think of right now to make a square. And another quick tip that I wanted to mention is if you just put in 1 inch it will automatically convert to 25.4. So a lot of times people go back and forth between metric and imperial units. So I would just remember that if you want to convert it and say we want to make it 2 inches, you can just click 2 and then the quotes there, it makes it 50.8, which is obviously 2 inches in millimeters. So that's another little tip that you can use. And I'm just going to go ahead and change this back. Let's delete this, and then we'll just make this side equal to that. All right, and so now we can say finish sketch. So we have our square, and now the next thing we want to do is to make our cube. So we need to extrude, and by now you should know that the shortcut is just E on the keyboard. And you can see since we only have one sketch, it's already selected that sketch to be extruded. So most of the time, if you have more than one sketch, it's not going to detect that like that. This time it has, and that's pretty common on the first sketch that you do, that it'll kind of know what you're trying to do. And so now we can just drag up, and then to make it a cube, we need to say 25.4 again. Okay, and so that is a cube. Now if you want to change the color of it, I don't really like this gray, we can click A, and then we have this appearances tab come up, and I like to use the plastic ABS, so you might have to download that. And now we just drag that over here, and then we right click, edit, and then we can change the color to whatever you want it to be. So that's how you make a cube using the center rectangle method. If you want to see more about this appearances feature, I have a video on that as well, so check it out. All right, so that's about it for this one. Let's go ahead and click Command Save, and then we'll see our cube pop up here as a thumbnail. All right, and that's all for this one. See you in the next one.